In hindsight, now it looks like a great plan, plan that we had to start with your most informed players on the bench, Mabasa, Mufokeng, and Lamin. But what really were you trying to do with that plan?
Imagine if we lose, the questions. Yeah. But we're here to make decisions, and we try to make the decisions that we feel that are going to help us to win the game. We have many players on form. The ones that didn't start today, like you said, were regulars in the recent games. They gave us amazing moments in the last game. It was hard for me to not play them from the beginning, but we know that these type of games, and when I say we know, it's in plural, not only myself, the whole group, we know that we need, I think that I said many times already, that we need to dominate different games during the game. So Mahopa, for example, instead of Chejo, like I said before the match, you have to accept that with Sundowns you will spend more time far from Williams than close to Williams. And evidence can help us a lot in that scenario. The speed of Salen, the capacity of Hoto to repeat efforts, to hold Mudau in the positions that Mudau was forced to play in the first half. There's a lot of components that now, when we are the winning team, we can say that it works. But that's not true. I mean, it doesn't. It's not because of the result. I don't know if I express myself. I think we're happy with the plan. Like I said, not in the first 15, 20 minutes. Maybe I was expecting to play with a little bit more of personality in that period, but for whatever reason we couldn't. And probably one of the reasons is that Sundowns was really good in the beginning. They did start with that personality that we couldn't put on the field. And then, like I said in the explanation before, we knew that, or we expect again, that in the last 25-30 minutes we will get the control of the game, and we will have the capacity to continue having a decent pace on the field with Relle, with Chejo, even with Seix, even though in the end he didn't participate, but was also one of the things that we consider as an option. But in the end, we choose a different way with Dlamini and with Maswangani in the middle to get that control. So there's many components that, in the end, just to finalize, when we win is fine. When we don't, then it's rubbish. You know the game plan. Outside, for us, we know what it takes to win these kind of games, and we accept the risk to choose 11 players that we really believe that are the ones who are going to help us in the beginning of the game. Then during the match, like I said before, we need to be prepared for that game that is going to be played after 60, after 70, when you are 1-1, etc., etc. And I think overall the guys did a good job.
All right, let's go to Mazola.
Talking too much, sorry.
Robin Duke.
Coach, what led the decision to start to Saleh? Because you haven't seen much of him this season. Was it because of the experiences? You know, when you come to big occasions that
He played the last game against Supersport. 1 assist. He was ready. There were periods during the season that the boy wasn't ready for several reasons. And that's why he was not as regular as he was 1 year ago. And again, today was a special game. It's a special game. It is. It's a final, and it's Mamelodi Sundowns in front. Like I explained many times during these 2 years, that it's probably one of the teams, or the only team that you have to consider to modify some certain things in your own organization and approach to the game, because this team is not a joke. I mean, we're talking probably about the best team in the continent in terms of the way they play, the level of the players, how competitive they are, and we know that Monapule in this type of games can give you something extra, is a threat. we expect Modiba actually to be there dealing with him, and there's, like I said, there's many. We don't just say wake up in the morning and we say, okay, let's go with Salden. You understand? So there's a lot of things behind the decisions, and when you have to leave some certain players on the bench and play somebody else, there's reasons behind always. And again, sometimes it goes well and the coach is so good, and sometimes not, and then, you know, it's the opposite. So
Quick one, Zakede.
Coach, once again, Sundowns had a great game. How
Who?
important?
Talente.
Talente, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Coach, how important is he in your team, and is it the players you want to have for the next seasons to come?
Still a long way for talent to improve and to understand and to correct, and it's a very, like you all can see, is a very interesting prospect, and also a player with curious, you know, self-confidence and personality. That's why, again, we trust him to play games like the game that we played today. And yeah, like I said, a young player, just making almost making his first steps at this level. So he can only improve in the next part of his career. I'm 100% sure.
Quick one, Mazola.
Okay. Coach, the goal that Riveiro scores, how big is that for him personally on the back of a national team call-up? Even on the pitch, there were some ex-players who were saying South Africa sort of needs this to have a young player who's got a big match temperament, scores in crucial cup finals.
Well, I'm sure for Rele is a very important moment. Coming from the bench again in this scenario with this opponent, score a goal when the time is over to help us to lift one more trophy. It's again like same as talent. First steps in this level, improving week after week. I hope that you notice that. He's getting really complete as a football player, and the future looks bright for him. I just hope that he can continue in the space that he is right now. How humble he is, how much he listens, how much he tried to get more complete, and that's why he is where he is, and that's why national team coach is also getting attracted by his quality. And again, same as talent, he can only improve. He's a player that, because he's smart, he's skillful, he loves to play football. So as long as he continues in the space that he is right now, there's only going to be improvement, and hopefully everyone can enjoy him in the national team regularly.
Maskepe, last one.
Coach, games against Sundowns, especially where you, I would say, get to win. What do you learn most from them when you look at you doing well in cup competitions? You want to, obviously, you said you want to chase them in the league, and also you are going into the same space in the Champions League where they are. So games against them, given how they play, how much do you learn from those when you look at the league challenge, and also when you look at you going into the Champions League in the next season?
I learned, the level that my team can have on the day. During the week also when we face these type of games, and I can say that we are not that far. I mean, I don't think that the difference between these two teams is 23 points. It is, that's the reality, but we can manage to compete. So it's in our hands to keep this level of competitiveness week in, week out. That's the only thing that we need to, not the only thing, but that's the main thing that we need to improve. So we have to learn ourselves that if we put everything in place, we can compete with, I don't want to say the best one, because they are not the champions this season in the continent, but one of the best for sure. Nobody have doubts about it, and we can compete with them on the day. In a long run, we didn't show that we can do it, and that's what we need to learn from these days. That we are not that far. And if we are, still, like I said, we have room to improve, and depends on us.
Okay, Tangi says she will allow for more. I've noted mistake. Listen, let's go to Blake, the back. Please get one local journalist.
Can I just
Yes,
start mine?
yeah. You've now changed colors. You are Pirate supporter. He was wearing a different shirt before the start of the match. You've converted him, coach.
I was wearing the Nedbank Cup colours now, Pirates.
Okay.
Supporter. Coach, this is the second time in 2 attempts that Pirates has won a Nedbank Cup final at Mbombela Stadium, and we've seen a tremendous amount of support today. Was there times where, for you and your staff and your players, it felt like a home game?
Almost in every game we play away this season, I have to say, without being afraid of being wrong. It's one of the improvements this season, in my opinion. South African football fans, they have, and especially the Buccaneers, they have a special taste about football, and I think during this season we managed to offer them that football that they really want. Last season we won a lot of games, but maybe we were not at the level that we managed to get in some periods of this season. And that's why the people is answering so well, and we're getting more support in Orlando, but the games that we used to play away this season, it was something special. And today, no surprises. We knew that they're gonna fill the stadium. There were also many opponent fans as well, but I think again in number, nobody can compete with our fan base, and they are in love with the boys, and they are in love with the team right now. So, but now they have to wait for a decent period until we compete again. I'm sorry.
Coach, what mark out of 10 would you give yourself and your team for this season, given 2 cup trophies that you won, but then the Champions League debacle, and maybe the stuttering, second place, but it was a bit of a stutter towards the end of the season. What mark out of 10 would you give yourself for this campaign?
In terms of with all the up and downs, and I think last season was even more like, I don't know how to say, like, if I have to paint a line of the team, last season was more straight even. This season we have terrible periods and really good periods, exceptional periods. I'm talking about football. But if you ask me as a person who is involved in the group every single minute, and I know what we are, how you used to say here, cooking.
You're cooking, coach.
We are cooking. I think the progression, the evolution of the team this season it's superior than the last season, in my opinion. Then if that means 8 out of 10 or 7.5, or I don't know, it might be our fans, the ones who will in the end, and you guys judge the work that we do. But me, like I said, because of my position, maybe important part in the group, I can tell you that, like I said even before the final, for me this season, in terms of football, is better than the last season. Now with this Berry on the top, everything looks even better. But there's still a big room to improve in the future.